Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. Gelgus Pust is the big boss of Warhammer Quest Darkwater. He is the Prince of Swords who's made the Jade Abbey his domain as he plans to corrupt the Everspring forever. It's a great model and it is quick and easy to paint, and I'm sure it's not the last time we'll see this actual character. If he's anything like Radakar from Curse City, then perhaps Games Workshop will make a truly demonic fly version of this character in a future expansion. But before then, we need to paint up this version. So, without further ado, grab your paints and your brushes and let's get hobbying. And we're starting the big bad boss himself of Darkwater, Gelgus Pust. It's an awesome model. We're going to make it super easy, super quick, and super fun to paint as well. So, things to note, he is primed fully in White Scar, and getting straight into it, we're going to pick out those armor panels first, because we just want to kind of map out the area. There's lots of exposed flesh, so you've got belly fat here, you've got, exposed flesh here, leg flesh here. We want to make sure we've got the areas mapped out so we don't get things mistaken, and we need it done anyway, because if we're going to do contrast painting, we need an underlayer. We want it to shine through. So the colour is Iron Hand Steel. It's absolutely perfect to just get things in place, to paint over it and have a sort of shiny finish underneath. Makes things a lot brighter and stand out more. So, thinking of where it all is, start here, under the armpit, down to the leg. You've got these knee plates here. You've obviously got the main central plate here, shoulder plates, shoulder, and the arm of this one, but this arm is not. Nice and simple. I've done 2 thin coats just to get a nice solid colour. With all that Iron Hand Steel base coated, it's time to tint that armour to this very disturbing Nurgle green. It's really easy to do. There is a mix that's required. It's going to be 2 parts Militarum Green. Now think of this as the darkness that you see in the actual colour. In that mix, we're adding 1 part of Mantis Warrior's Green, giving it this toxic hue that we can kind of see. To that mix, we're adding 1 part of Lahmium Medium. This is going to help thin it down and give us a lot of control, especially as we're working over large flat surface areas. So, as a reminder, that's 2 parts Militarum Green, 1 part Mantis Warrior's Green, 1 part Lahmium Medium. Now, when you're applying it, always start from the top of an armor panel. In this case, I've moved over to the corner here, bring it outwards. Gravity works against you, so you don't want to start at the bottom, working your way up. The liquid will pour down. Take it panel by panel and just let it all happen. Now, it is going to take away, there will be a slight shine because that's the Lahmium Medium, but you're going to lose the metallic properties. We're going to restore that towards the end once we've got all our other colours in place. So, get that done and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're creating a mix to add to the model to create all that skin. I'm painting it over the fur that we see on the back as well, just because it gives it a more organic feel if this is there already as an underlayer, but the majority of this paint is the skin tone colour. Now, I'm basing this off the fact that it's Nurgle. It's got to have a sickly hue, but it's also got to register as flesh. So this is going to be, if you can imagine a circle that you split into 4, this is the ratio that we're going to make. It's going to be 2 parts Darkoath Flesh, because that is our skin tone that we want. We're going to add 1 part of Skeleton Horde. And this is going to create a slightly off-tangent colour scheme to that Darkoath Flesh. We're going to add 1 part of Lahmium Medium. This not only thins it down, it helps give us a lot of control as we move the paint around, especially on the larger, flatter areas. We don't want excessive pooling. We just want it to settle nicely into all of those awesome recesses. So mix it together well. As I say, we've got 2 parts Darkoath Flesh, 1 part Skeleton Horde, 1 part Lahmium Medium. Give you a little 360. You've got the legs, you've got the big hands, you've got his exposed belly, you've got that fur, you've got the individual hand here, you've got a little bit of skin that's just between that gap there. So, nice and simple. Take it section by section, let it dry fully, and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we are going to base coat the wings. And when I do my Nurgle wings, I like this verdigris blue, as I call it. Essentially, I'm going to create the mix that I do for verdigris on bronze detailing, but we're going to treat it as a base coat. So the mix here is 3 parts Briar Queen Chill, to 1 part of Nihilakh Oxide. And nice and simple, like I've mentioned before, we are starting at the top section. I started here in this corner and just take it section by section, working your way down. Don't ever start at the bottom. Gravity will be your enemy here. Now for the inside, we're doing exactly the same. You can absolutely reach it. In the sense, you've got this huge gap here that you can get to the majority of it, as well as the side here. And you can just reach into the side there if you need to. But for most of it, I could absolutely reach in from this angle here. And if I haven't reached it all, which probably I haven't, you can't actually physically see it unless you take the model off. So, get that done. We'll let it dry, and I'll move on to the next step. Next up for Gelgus, we're gonna shade his skin tone to make it look a little bit more sicker. Essentially, it's going to take Mortarian Grime and paint it all over that skin. We don't need to do the fur. That's not important. It's just all the exposed flesh. We want a nice even there across it all. As you can see, as it's starting to dry, it's tinting it towards a more sickly hue, which is absolutely perfect for Nurgle. So, let that dry and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we are painting that fur to this brown colour. Colour is going to be Garaghak Sewer. And as you can see, it's got a much richer, warmer tone, having had that underlayer of the flesh tone underneath. So just take your time. I started on this one, the middle section here. You can see where the fold line is, where you've got this back section. Working your way down, section by section. You haven't got to worry about drying lines. There's so much recessed detailing, it is perfect for contrast paints. And then just work your way down to the front. Nice and simple. We'll let that dry as we move on to the next bit. Next up, I'm tinting those wings ever so slightly to create this very subtle turquoise effect. It's bright, it's bold, and it's vivid, and it stands out beautifully in contrast against this dark green armour. Now the colour here is a very thin down glaze of Kroxigor Scales. So nice and simply, we're going to take 1 part of Kroxigor Scales and mix it with roughly 4 parts of Lahmium Medium. Essentially, it's an ultra thin glaze. And while it's quite a strong colour, it works really nicely with that Nihilakh Oxide style of verdigris colour, where it just tints it to this, and it's really vivid and bright. Obviously, I've done the inside as well, exactly as before, reaching it from this section here. So, do that, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we're going to base coat all of our bone details, and this is going to be pure skeleton Horde. And it isn't just the bone, we're going to do the cloth as well, matching all the other models within this set. So you've got the cloth that's down here. You can reach the inside of it from this angle here. And just a little bit that you can't reach, you can reach from this side here. You've obviously got the skull that's attached here. You've got the hooves, which we are going to darken down later on, but we want this as an underlayer. You've got the 2 great big horns that are on top of his head. And you've got these kind of fly tentacle bits, whatever you'd call them, bone bits that are protruding out from the back. Nice and simple, plus the skull down here. So take your time, base coat all of those, and we'll move on to the next. Next up for Gelgus, we're doing 2 different browns here. We've got this little wooden sort of harness that's going around the horns in a circle, and then we've got these leather straps, 1 on each side here, and then the 2 that are along here. So we'll start with the wood up the top, and rather nice and simply, we're just going with a simple Wyldwood. Just literally base coat that on. I find just do the front section first in a circle, then meet it up on the other side. Just because you've got all that recessed detailing, you're not going to get drying lines. Our warmer brown is, for the leather, going to be Cygor Brown. And I've applied this in a very particular way. So you can kind of see the edge highlights already in place. Now as I'm painting it along, I've gone immediately back over a little bit more into that central recessed middle line, essentially creating a much darker Cygor Brown where the edge highlight is just the first layer of the paint. It does mean if you get it just right, you can absolutely get away without highlighting it, because as you can see, that highlight is automatically in place. So we'll do that and we'll move on to the next step. Next up, we've got another base coat and some shading to do. So starting with our base coat, we are taking Black Templar, and I've painted this over his nails on both hands, the wraps of both his weapons, just to create some unique colouring. And then you got the sort of big hoof nails that are on his feet. Nice and simple. And while they're drying, we're going to do a bit of shading. I want to distinguish some different colours. So I've tinted this green, this cloth, making it look really grungy and dirty, separating it from the bone colours that we see around him. So the colour here is a Phonian Camoshade, and that's going straight over that bit of fabric that's at the bottom. Next up, I want to tint the horns again. We're differentiating different bone colours. So the skeleton horns in its purest form will be the skulls that we see on the base. I want some different colours. So Reikland Fleshshade is going to give a nice organic warmth to all of that. And that's these 4 protruding pieces that are coming out. 2 on the head, 2 at the back. Nice and simple. While that's drying, we'll move on to the next step. Next up, I'm starting work on the sword blade. Now, we are going to make it metallic, and I'll explain that towards the end. For now, we want to take advantage of something really gruesome. Pretty much doing what I did with the Cankerborn, if you've seen that. So, we're going to start with Darkoath Flesh in its purest form. Start at the top, paint a nice even layer, working your way downwards on both sides. And just let it dry completely before we move on to the next step. Next up, we are taking Nazdreg Yellow, and I'm applying this firstly all over the pus spots around Gelgus Pust skin, just to create that absolute gruesome layer. Now, it's not just the skin. There are little pus spots that are dotted around on these antlers, so pick those out too. And with Nazdreg Yellow to hand, we're doing another layer over that sword. So we had it in Darkoath Flesh, it's now dried. We're literally doing the exact same method. Start at the top, work your way down both sides, and it creates this gruesome effect. The sword is not done, but it is battle ready. Now, additionally to that, while that's all drying, we are going to take Berserker Bloodshade. And this is a select couple of areas where we've got this heavily cracked skin. I'm just painting it into that area. So you've got one part there, and you've got another part on the other side there, just to create some variation in the skin tone. Next up for Gelgus, we're going to base coat the metallic details. There's 2 colours here, silver and bronze, and we're going to start with the silver. Now, I've gone for Iron Warriors here because this makes a really good base coat, and when we come to highlighting it, it creates some nice vivid highlights. So we got the blade, handle and grip, obviously not the fabric part. You've got the mace, which stands out nicely in contrasting colours, and that's what I wanted here rather than bronze. You've got the chainmail, as you can see at the front, and then finally you've got the little hooks that are holding up these trinkets. You've also got a bit of chainmail here too. Nice and simple. So apply them, and we're obviously going to let them dry before we shade them. Moving on to our bronze, we can do it at the same time because I'll be shading them both in the same colour, and the colour for my bronze details is Screaming Bell. So nice and simply, I've done the circles on the waist belt. You've got them up here too. You've got the bell and the hand trinket. And then you've got these round spiked bits that are around. So 1, 2, there. 1 here. The other one's not present. And then you've got the fly Nurgle symbol there. And then you've got a circle on the shoulder pad there. So take your time, get those base coated. Let it dry completely, and then we'll shade them. Next up, we're going to shade all of that metallic detail as well as the base, and it's just one overall colour, and it's Agrax Earthshade. So just take your time, every metallic detail, the entirety of the base if you've done a Stirland Mud, and it just ties it all together. Now at this stage, Gelgus Pust is battle ready. It looks absolutely incredible, but we're not going to leave it there. We want to take it to the next level. He is the end boss after all. He needs to look absolutely perfect. Perfect as Nurgle can be. So we're going to apply a few highlights and some texture paints. And we're beginning with our highlights. Now, I'm going to do dry brushing because it really works well for this model. There's so many raised areas. And when I was looking at the colours, there's just one that actually can use that hits every single surface. Apart from our green armour, which we'll talk about in a minute. It just gives an automatic highlight and works well for it. So the colour I'm taking is Screaming Skull. And like I've said, I've used a dry brush for this. And I'd recommend the small size one. We're literally hitting every detail except our metallics and our green armour. So this is the horns, the face, the flesh, the leather, the sword, You've got the bit of dress down here, the cloth, the black hooves, the base, the hair fur, the actual wings. Screaming Skull is just the absolute perfect colour that gives this perfect overall highlight and binds all those colours together to finish them off. Moving on from that, still sticking with dry brushing, I've taken Sycorax Bronze for our bronze detailing. And again, sticking with small dry brushing, I've taken Stormhost Silver for all of our silver details. So at this stage, the model can be classed as complete. I am going to add a few extra details on, and we're going to do that next. Next up, we are going to take Evil Sunz Scarlet, and we're just taking the smallest amount of this on the tip of a small airbrush, just to dot in the eyes, create that demonic red look. Moving on from that, we want to now restore that green armor, but I'm not just going to do it here. I'm going to apply what I'm doing next to the sword and to the wings, both the back and the inside. Essentially what I'm doing here is creating a subtle metallic shine, and obviously that metallic shine is going to restore the metallic properties of the armor and apply it to the sword as well. Essentially I'm going to split a paint completely in half, and that paint is Iron Hand Steel. It's a base coat silver, very bright, but like with all metallic paints, it has metallic flakes inside it. We're going to take one part of this into a palette with roughly 10 or more parts of Lahmium Medium. Now the Lahmium Medium is going to split the paint completely apart into a very thin glaze. Essentially when you apply it onto the things, you'll see the metallic flakes. There'll be a tiny bit of silver, but hardly anything at all. But you'll see the metallic flakes just rolling around, and when it dries to that surface, it will give a very subtle metallic sheen. Now obviously that bit you can see is drying. If we look at this shield plate down here, and I've sort of shine it in the light, it's got a much more natural metallic sheen than it did with just a matte contrast paint over it. So that's why I've applied it to the sword, to give it a subtle metallic property. Same as the wings. Imagine the wings catching light and having a little subtle shine depending on what angle you hit it. So we'll get that done, and then we'll move on to our classic details that I like to add to it. And there we have it. Gelgus Pust is complete. I do like this as the big boss. There's just something unique about it, from the great big Richter's grin to the great big come at me pose. It's just a really cool model. I do have a feeling though, in the sense that I've said it on to Instagram, I've said it to people that I know, I reckon it's not the last time we've seen this character. If it's anything to go by the Cursed City, he will return bigger and badder in a transform model, some form of real ultimate demon prince, possibly even with those fly wings fully expanded in something truly Nurgle and demonic, which would be awesome to see. I'd be up for painting that one. Now if this video has inspired you, then please do give it that like. Share it as well, because that means other people get to find the channel. Who knows what support they need, and it could be that my videos provide that support. It's not about the fame, it's about the Warhammer community. And if you haven't subscribed, consider doing it, because supporting me means I get to continue supporting you, the awesome Warhammer community. So, until the next video, do look after yourselves, and happy hobbying.